Merry Christmas and welcome to this week's Football Talk podcast with me, Josh, as your host this week. It's a chance to sit back, get yourself comfortable as we bring you up to date on the week's football, Boxing Day football. So, we will talk news. Dave will be challenging a quiz, a bit of a game show theme quiz, I'd say. Style, yeah. We review yesterday's Boxing Day football, and then I send Dave an unsolicited wiki pick for him to stare blankly at in the Wikifiles. If that sounds like something you'd enjoy, drop us a like and subscribe to our channels on YouTube and Spotify so you don't miss out. We're here every Sunday, 10 a.m, even in this festive period, international breaks, come rain or shine, we'll be here. Now, over to my co-host, all the way from Singapore, it's Mr. David Nichols.
Hello.
Hello, Dave.
Hello. Yeah, hello.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy Boxing Day and day after Boxing Day.
Yeah, it's the kind of naming of days runs out at this point, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I also feel like Boxing Day gets a bad rap because everyone's like, Merry Christmas. Like, have a good Christmas Day. Merry Christmas. No one's like, enjoy Boxing Day. Have a great one.
No, when people talk about, like, oh, it's Christmas Eve, it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Boxing Day. I mean, did manage to trick my children to thinking that we were having a boxing fight on top of the dining table. I've started doing this. I've started winding them up. So, they're like, I told them about Boxing Day, and what's Boxing Day? And I was like, well, this is where the day after Christmas Day, to burn off some energy, we will all have a boxing fight. So it'll be your winner stays on. So we stand on top of the kitchen table, and we're just going to box each other, and whoever's the last person standing wins. And
winner stays on.
Left it for a few weeks, and then it was on Christmas Eve. My youngest went, "Oh, I'm looking forward to boxing on Boxing Day."
That is brilliant, Josh. That's amazing.
I mean, turns out he didn't fancy it because we're rid with chicken box in his house, so he's feeling very sorry for himself and couldn't. I mean, he lost. Yeah, he got slaughtered.
Battered.
No energy. Oh, yeah. Don't touch the box. Yeah.
Well, that's great way to start the pod. Good, I like that. I feel like also, Boxing Day's had some redemption. So
yeah, I was really banging the Boxing Day drum.
Yeah.
So Christmas came. Any football themed gifts for you, Dave? Two fingers.
Seasiders. Folkestone Invicta shirt.
Folkestone Invicta shirt, lovely.
Yeah, from the dog. He did well. Little
from
rude.
The dog.
He did very well.
Yeah, that's impressive. Is it on sale in many locations in Singapore?
Not that I've seen. I assume it got sent in the post from someone.
Yeah, so, You don't look at folks in Victor and stockists of their shirt. There's nothing in Singapore.
Although saying that, I have been into numerous football shops in Singapore. Found a lot of Newport County. I have no idea why. Newport County is apparently very popular in Singapore. So.
I feel like this is your chance to get Folkestone Invicta on the Singaporean map.
Well, I'm not. Because I sent a tweet to Folkestone Invicta and I was like, oh, look what Santa managed to bring all the way to Singapore. And they said they retweeted it and that, and someone else got on the end of it. And there's a photo of a guy who now lives in Folkestone, who grew up in Folkestone, next to Singapore Parliament Square, wearing a Folkestone Invicta shirt.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, I'm not the first one. This isn't the first Folkestone Invicta shirt in Singapore.
I feel like that should be what clubs do. I mean, not the elite clubs like the Spurs of this world and the Manchester Cities, but it should be...
What?
I just couldn't... There's a little dig at Man United there, which I just totally wanted to go up. Yeah. But... yeah, it should be like the lower league clubs, and like, even like Folkestone Invicta should go where there's the most kind of random place that you've had a photo in your Folkestone Invicta shirt.
Well, so that was why this guy did his photo in the Folkestone Invicta shirt, because Folkestone Invicta ran a competition of where's the furthest Folkestone fan. And at the time, he was in Singapore and he won it. So... But there you go, a little bit for for you. So everything else was golf related mainly. So.
Yes, very similar here. Yeah, I've very much transitioned into the golf, thinking people buy me golf stuff. So and
I'm going to use that opportunity to quickly plug your podcast and say Josh is hosting a very good, very funny football. No, he's not. Well, he is hosting a very funny football podcast as well. But a golf one called Did He Score Under Par? So go check it out on Spotify, and I'll try and put a link in the description and all of that in YouTube. It's very, very good. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, it's tracking myself and former friend of the show.
Former friend of the channel.
Owen East's progression to get a handicap, because we're somewhat amateur status, and we will be still amateur status.
I was going to say, we're going to be pro. next year.
Who knows? Who knows where next year will take us?
So,
Right, should
yeah.
we talk news then, Dave? I've got some news items. So what's been on your news radar this week in the world of football?
I think the biggest one has to be Tuchel. PSG, gone.
Go on.
Surprised?
Well, yeah, I mean, the timing of it is pretty bleak, isn't it? It just won 4-0 that week, I think, and then it's Christmas Eve. I could think of better times.
Well, it was, yeah. And he got them to the Champions League final.
Within the last kind of 3 months, is it going to be? No, probably 4 months.
I mean, that stinks of, we can see there's a very good manager on the market, and it's going to be January, so we can give him a bit of money to spend. Let's just pull the trigger, because he'll win the league anyway. So,
Oh, say that Leon go into the Christmas break top of Ligue 1?
if PSG get Poch, they'll win the league.
I'm intrigued by Poch being a different club because obviously we've spoken about this every week in terms of pressing managers, and pressing sides are usually the ones which trying to establish themselves. Whereas he made his name as a kind of pressing style.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to see how he does because this is uncharted territory for Poch, isn't it?
Not really, he played there.
If he no, sorry, in terms of managing a club of this status,
Yeah.
who's established and will be winning silverware, it's uncharted territory for him.
Yeah, it's uncharted to have a pressure of you have to win the title in your first 6 months. It'll probably have to win the title.
Yeah, you've got superstars in your side. I mean, he's not been named manager yet, but all roads point toward Poch. Former player, obviously, available and up there, probably just behind the elite managers. He'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I mean, he's got elite players. I mean, Neymar, I've just seen organise a 5-day party with 500 guests in his mansion over Christmas.
Brilliant.
Well done, Neymar. How's he going to tackle that one? Flog him back to Barca?
I think
With no money. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's just who could afford it. Yeah.
Does this make Messi to PSG more likely? Argentinian manager for both Newell's old boys, I think both of them have
Yeah, I think they
got
were.
a history.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling that we might see Messi. Imagine January, Poch, previously under Levy, was getting absolute threadbare signing. Then it gets Messi.
200 million Messi done. Bosh.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
So we'll watch. Hopefully, that's Poch back in the game because that would be great for me. Not in the Premier League, but in somewhere where I'll see him and make it sound like he's a kid who's my my partner's taking him. Yeah, I get to see him on weekends, and I know he's doing well for himself. I know he's got his family's got a lot of money, so he's not going to be well taken care of, and he's going to get some lovely toys for Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, well, you're not going to see him in the Champions League, are you? Neither of us are going to see him in the Champions League against our teams. So,
Okay.
yeah.
He's better off without me. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, definitely. So, will Dele Alli, Danny Rose, and what about AC Milan and Christian Eriksen go and join PSG?
I would be surprised if one of them doesn't. At least one of them doesn't. Yeah.
Danny
There was
Rose,
talk of
he's still hanging on for Milan.
Danny Rose. Danny Rose was involved in a high-speed car accident over the Christmas period at 4 a.m. So goodness knows what he was up to. Danny Rose, I'd say his time at elite clubs is over. You never know. I mean, there's been stranger. I mean, they've signed Eric Choupo-Moting for goodness sake, so it's not like it's
True.
they'll be dragging the bargain basement bin for Danny Rose. They've done worse. But I'd be surprised if Dele Alli didn't go. Dele Alli even talked about on loan or something like that, and Poch does like him. Christian Eriksen, I think he'll be looking for a way out of Inter for sure. Maybe a sneaky little deal. But yeah, I'd have thought Dele and obviously Christian Eriksen are more likely. Danny Rose, I feel, maybe looking like a Doncaster Rovers, but you never know.
Fair enough. That
He's
would
from
be
Doncaster.
quite the drop.
He's from Donny. He's from Donny, I think.
Yeah.
Originally.
Even so, I think that would be quite the drop. Yeah. Anyway, news for you, Josh. What have you got?
So I'm going to go for Kieran Trippier. Kieran Trippier, we won. So this is the news that he been suspended for 10 weeks for breaching betting regulations from all football-related activity.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, the FA came in and took his game, his FIFA game, his football manager out of his house. They deactivated his Premier League fantasy football account.
Yeah.
All football-related activity is done for.
They confiscated all of his actual balls in the house as well, so he can't play in the garden.
Yeah, smashed up his Sabutio set.
Yeah.
No, Kieran, no. I mean, yeah, he got caught breaching betting regulation. Have you heard why? This is an
No, I
interesting one.
haven't.
Okay, so this is that he told family members that he was moving to Atletico before he moved to Atletico.
Ah,
Now, I'd like to see the kind of. I imagine there's kind of two scenarios here. One, he went, "Hey guys, don't say anything, but I'm on my way to Atletico Madrid, woo!" Or there's B, "Hey guys, I'm on my way to Atletico Madrid. Put a cheeky little bet on." One of those is a breach of regulations. One of those is telling your family about a big career break. I mean, I've told my parents I'm going. Previously, when I'm changing jobs, I'm like, "Oh, I had an interview over at so and so. Hope I get it."
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it just seems a bit of a kind of murky
But
territory.
what happens if Kieran Trippier goes, "Woo! I'm going to Atletico Madrid," and then his brother puts a bet on it? Was like, well, there you go.
Well, that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, but it's not Trippier's fault, is it?
No, that's exactly what I'd like to know. Like,
Yeah.
has he is he induced betting, or is someone? Because it might not even be his brother. It might be a guy. Oh, oh, I know. My mate Jimmy is cousin's Kieran Trippier. Yeah. Well, I've heard he's on his way to Atletico, and it's
That'd
just
be a
like,
cheeky good thing to put a bob on that. Like, yeah.
yeah,
No.
yeah. And I mean, Daniel Sturridge was banned for something similar, but at least this bet came in because Daniel Sturridge bet did not come in.
Do you reckon Peter
Yeah, those
O'Doinwingie
boys
did the
are
same?
just-
Peter O'Doinwingie was
So-
like, I'm signing for QPR. Get some money
I'm
on it.
literally in the car park, mate. Because
It's got to happen. So,
I'm on my way there. It's like it's done deal. But my surprising element was that it was the English FA who banned him. I didn't realise their remit stretched.
well, well, true. I guess. Yeah, I guess if they've got the evidence, it's a they would have gone. They would just go to FIFA and
Is it
say
because he's an English player? They take that. I don't know. It's a funny one.
maybe he was
I
just
don't
accidentally
swear.
walking into like the embassy to go and pick something up, and they're like, "Ah, ha, ha, we got you.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You're banned for
You're on
football."
international waters now, Trippier.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, no, interesting. Yeah.
My final bit of news, it obviously involves both of our sides. It was the EFL Cup, Carabao Cup, just last week, and
See you in the
both
final.
sides progressed. See you in the final, yeah. Well, so how did you get on? Let people, the listeners be aware, Man United,
A decent win against Everton.
decent win against Everton.
Brushed them
yeah.
aside. It was quite was relatively comfortable actually. Yeah, it was. It was
Yeah,
decent.
similar for Spurs. Again, it's our best chance of silverware, and we find ourselves with versus Brentford in the next round. It's
Oh, you know, we have the sensible betting thing, which we didn't do over Christmas, but we do have sensible betting. You do realise every prediction I made for the cup came in when I reeled them off last week. I was like, oh yeah,
Oh, really?
Man United will beat Everton, Man City will win, Brentford will probably beat Newcastle, and Spurs will get through. That's exactly what happened. Yeah, I didn't put a bet on it because I didn't think it would be fun. The EFL Cup's not fun, is it? Unless you're in the final. So
So what do you reckon then? Spurs v Brentford. Obviously, we'll be favourites to get through, and I think we'll probably do it. It's just after January, just early January, so it must be a double header of FA Cup, EFL Cup, I'd imagine. Weekend of FA Cup, then EFL Cup.
yeah,
So
I think
You
I
feel
think
confident?
Spurs United final. Yeah, I think it'll be a Spurs United final, and I think Mourinho will Sergio Ramos's way to a win in the final because I don't want to swear because we're trying to make this now family friendly, and I'm always the one that swears. So,
we'll also get a live streaming date for your diary then.
oh, that's very true. Yeah, that's very true. So, yeah, I do. I think it will be United Spurs final, and I think Spurs will win it. Definitely won't be 6-1. I can tell you that right now. So
7-1.
7-1.
That would do a lot for my my anxiety in that match if we do it. Because
And
very rarely Spurs
you
now
are very. That means if you get to the final, you're one football match away from winning a bet on the season.
win a major trophy. Well, unless it's not considered a major trophy,
It's
I'll be
not.
super gut.
In my mind, it's not. But
Oh, Christ, Dave! Give us something. He'll be our most successful manager in 12 years by trophy-wise if he wins that.
oh, that's embarrassing.
Will he be? Yeah. So, in people, I don't look at it like this, but people could legitimately consider Mourinho more successful than Pochettino if he wins that trophy.
Technically, he would be, wouldn't he? Technically, like you said.
That's what you would measure success is, rather than progression and getting into the Champions League how many years. But
Yeah.
hey. Well, that's me for news. Dave, you any other news items?
Not really. I mean, most of the news that I've got revolves around the fixtures that have been played because I think there's things coming out of that and stuff like that. So yeah,
Interweave them into the reviews. But next up, it's the quiz. Ooh la 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 la. Ooh la 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 la. Ooh la 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 la. It's quizzing time, right, Dave?
Right.
We spoke about this the other week, and we spoke about Manager of the Month awards, didn't we? We go, oh, this guy's got this many Manager of the Months. We had a little live viewing of some Manager of the Months. I don't know if you remembered any of those tallies, but we are going to go for a bit of higher or lower. So first up, we have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and we've got 9 further managers, current Premier League managers. And obviously, I've hidden from you the amount of Manager of the Month awards. But first, a little guess. Do you know how many Manager of the Month awards Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has?
He has 2.
It's 1. Okay.
I was going to say 1.
It's 1, and that's your starting point. So
okay,
this makes it quite easy for you, unless he's gone 0. Nuno Espirito Santo, has he ever got more or less than 1 Manager of the Month award?
he would definitely have more because Wolves went on a great run last season.
Okay, so you think he's got more than 1 Manager of the Month award? Correct. How many do you reckon he has?
I'll go with 3.
Correct.
Yeah, happy with that.
Okay. So then we go to Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche, obviously been explicitly with Burnley in the Premier League. Has he got more or less Manager of the Month awards than Nuno Espirito Santo? Everybody's favourite second team, Burnley. Yeah.
I'm going to go more, but that's pure. More purely based on the fact that he got Burnley up and around 6th at one point, like 2 seasons ago.
Incorrect. It is lower. And how? So, and he has. You want to take a guess? How many he's got?
2.
2. Correct. Okay. So we're on 2 with Dyche. Roy Hodgson, a number of Premier League clubs. What's he got in his repertoire? He's got Liverpool. He's got Fulham. He's got West Brom. He's got Palace.
Is that it? Yeah, is that it? I think that's it.
Probably an early one I'm forgetting. He can't spend all his time in Finland and Italy. But that would make up the bulk of it. So, has he got higher or lower his Manager of the Month awards than 2 of Dyche?
I'm going to go lower.
Lower? So you think he's got 1 or 0 Manager of the Month?
I think he's got 0.
0 Manager of the Month awards. Incorrect.
Oh, is it 1?
No, it's higher.
It's higher.
It's higher, yep. And it's, you have a guess?
5.
4 Manager of the Month awards for big old Roy. He's done well for himself there.
Well, I mean, he's been around for years.
Yeah.
So, but I just
do you reckon they're on display in the house?
Yeah, I reckon so. I reckon they'll be maybe in the shower. It'd be like you have like magazines in the toilet, or some people have magazines in the toilet. I reckon, yeah, maybe like.
You reckon downstairs?
He had 3. He had 3 on the
loo type area.
Yeah, he had 3 on the loo plunger bit, or the they're built into the wall cistern. That's it. 3 on there, and then he got the 2 others and was like, well, I'll just put them in the shower because we don't have many guests, so just pop them in
the shower. You might mistaken it for a bit of shower gel.
Just yeah.
All right, so Roy Hodgson on 4. We got Carlo Ancelotti now. Obviously, days of Chelsea and Everton. Do we have higher or lower than 4? Roy Hodgson's 4.
Lower 2.
Lower 2.
1 at Chelsea, 1 at Everton.
1 at Chelsea. That is a great guess, but it's completely wrong.
No.
So I'd say it's actually not a very good guess at all.
Is it higher?
It's higher. And what are we at, Dave? If we're higher than 4, where are we going?
5.
5. He gets it. I'll give you a point there because it's looking pretty bleak so far, Dave. So we move on to.
It's been pretty bleak. I don't really know Manager of the Month for managers. I don't pay attention to managers.
You will do now, Dave. This will be your initiation. So we have the man who knows about winning, David Moyes. Has he got higher or lower, or more or less, Manager of the Month awards than Carlo, league winner Ancelotti?
Now, at Everton, Moyes must have got a lot. He must have got a lot.
I think he'd have been quite flavour of the month there. He'd have got a lot of love for his, look at these plucky boys, not much to spend.
Ancelotti got 5.
Yeah.
Moyes must have got more in his time at Everton. I'm going higher.
Hey, here he goes. Currently, that's your first one right after saying that someone's got higher than Solskjaer's 1.
Spot on.
Yes. Do you want to take a stab at how many?
7.
10.
10?
10 Manager of the Month awards.
Are they all at Everton?
I'm going to hazard a guess, yes. I'm not sure Sunderland or West Ham would
I
have.
tell you what, he started really well at United, didn't he? The
All
first
United, yeah.
first month, because we beat Swansea 4-2 in his first game, and then we beat Chelsea 3-0, and I think there might have only been 2 Premier League games in the opening month, maybe 3, and we might have won that as well. And then he just realised that crossing the ball was the way to go, and it all went downhill. But anyway, yeah.
Right. Jurgen Klopp, obviously a league winner, the kind of one of the elite managers in world football. Has he got more or less Manager of the Month awards than David? Jeffrey
I'm
Moyes?
going to say less. He's got less than 10.
Less.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8 though. He's doing well.
8. Wow.
8, yeah.
Yeah.
What do we think about Pep? Ben, has Pep obviously won more titles, I think, than Jurgen?
He has, and I'm going to go less again because I think he was expected to win them. He's expected to be up there. So less than 8.
Yeah, but I agree. Yeah, A is right. Lower again. So then we move on to David Brent Rogers here.
How many did Guardiola get?
7. Just
7.
One less.
Okay.
One fewer. We went to Brendan Rodgers. Now
less
Liverpool,
than 7. Less than
Liverpool,
7.
Swansea, and Leicester. Yeah, 3.
3.
Then we're ending with the league's best manager, everyone's favourite uncle, Jose Mourinho. Higher or lower than 3?
Less than 3.
Less than 3. Incorrect.
I think this is the stat. Is that incorrect or correct?
4. He's got
4.
4.
Oh, for God's sake! I thought what you said last week on the pod was that he'd got like 1 or something. So, yeah.
I think it was he had 1 less than someone. He's got 3 titles and now 4 Manager of the Month awards or something like that. Yeah.
Bloody hell, yeah.
So Dave, you rallied at the end there with a few lowers. You got 5 out of 9 there, so you just passed.
5 out of 9, blooming hell. Bloody hell. Wouldn't expect Moyes to have had that many. Yeah, no, I don't think anyone.
I don't think David even expects to. I mean, David always is.
I would say if I was sorting it out, I think I'd go 9 at Everton and 1 somewhere else. He may have got 1 at West Ham because he has played like this season. They're actually doing all right.
Yeah.
So
but I don't think he would have got any.
But yeah.
If anyone's one of the listeners want to get in touch and tell us if they're listening live, what's his split of his awards, his 10 awards? Where are they all Everton? Are they splattered around a few clubs? Let us know so we can. But we'll carry on.
Yes.
And we'll move to the reviews.
Let's review some football, Joshua. It's been a good Boxing Day. Good Boxing Day football.
Good Boxing Day. Not quite. We always see the big Boxing Day scores of like 1950, whatever it was, when it was like 8-4 and 6-6 and 6-6, 6-all actually. But we'll move to the Keith Gillespie derby. It started off the Boxing Day. Leicester City versus Manchester United 2-all. Liverpool win even when they're not playing is how I describe this.
Yeah, I'd agree. It was. I actually thought it was a good game. I thought we played really well. It was actually good to see Man United playing some entertaining football. It was free-flowing. It was attacking. I think Kasper Schmeichel made some incredibly good saves. Rashford missed some sitters.
I've got that hell of a missed header, that is.
Yeah, but I think there's the whole... He sticks that away. It's a completely different game. You score that header in the first half, you don't know what could have scoring that early could have rallied Leicester and we could have lost 4-1.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying it's a result, but it's just a bad miss.
It's a terrible miss, terrible miss. But he made up for it by scoring later on in the game, Rashford, which was good. Bruno got another goal as well, which is good. Harvey Barnes with a wonderful effort, but I'm not too sure what Bruno was doing. Well, first off, Harry Maguire did his best Phil Jones impression, like stumbling over, looking drunk, and then. Bruno trying to nutmeg someone 5 yards outside his own area is a big no-no, especially when it's their best defensive midfielder in Ndidi. So if he got nutmeg from there, he would have been fuming. So I'm glad that
and he would have just recovered the ball anyway, just because he'd been like Liam Neeson in Taken. You don't do that to me.
Yeah, exactly. A lovely hit from Harvey Barnes. I don't blame De Gea. I think it was hit so quickly.
He does hit nicely, yeah. Harvey Barnes frustrates me though. He really does frustrate me. It's like he has got such a lack of composure when there's a lot of a goal to aim at, but he will find it when there's little of a goal to aim at. Find the corner. Frustrating.
It's very odd areas of redness when he's hot and running around.
Does he?
Yeah, just behind his ears here. It's very bizarre.
Okay.
So yeah, keep an eye out for Harvey Barnes' hot areas. So
Always will do, Dave.
yeah,
You mentioned a lot of the attacking play from United there. You did touch on the fact that obviously some mess ups for the first goal. It wasn't greatest defensive. You did look. You both sides look surprised at defending a counter attack, yet are so proficient at attacking with counter attack. It's quite a unique situation to be in. It's like your attackers learn how to do a counter attack in training, but your defenders have some time off at that point. They don't go try and defend this. It's a little
I
bit.
think it's. I mean, I think we actually played. I thought we defended reasonably well, other than Harvey Barnes' goal, because no one went and closed him down, which was a bit annoying. I think when it was Lindelof, Bailly, Maguire, Shaw, I think Shaw was just told, don't really worry about defending because we've got 3 centre-backs on the pitch, and that's exactly what someone did to Leicester last week, 2 weeks ago. They just played 4 centre-backs and then always had one of them drop off from somewhere to cover Vardy, and I think that worked really well. And I think when Lindelof got injured, it did change it a little bit. I think Tuanzebe came on and wanted to be more adventurous than he probably should have been. Not that actually resulted in them scoring, because it was an own goal when Tuanzebe was back trying to cover and defended it badly. But I think I would take a performance like that with that defending because it was entertaining to watch. And I don't think we're going to win the league this year. We are in the title race, but
yeah, I think away at one of a better sides still not worse.
But
I've
Jamie,
seen a lot of chat online.
You say it every week, like Leicester without Jamie Vardy, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? He had 2 shots on target and one went in. Well, one hit Tuanzebe. Well, 2 shots on target, one was off target, hit Tuanzebe and went in. So, they have no threat without him.
Yeah, Jose Perez is not up to the standard. Kelechi Iheanacho is not up to the standard. I've seen a lot of displeasure for Bruno. He seems to be lucky to not be getting second yellows recently. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree. In that game, I think he was very, very. It's one of those where if he hadn't already been booked, he would have got booked probably for 2 more of those tackles that he did. And I think he got the yellow card and then did another tackle when Mike Dean went, "That's your last warning," and then did another one and still didn't get a second yellow. And I think it's going to come back to haunt him eventually. Because I think then he'll get sent off for something which probably isn't 2 yellows, but someone will think, it could be a yellow, so I'm going to give it to you because you haven't got one previously. Even though referees shouldn't think like that. Everyone's human. So I think, I think he is lucky. I think he was lucky yesterday, and he's so integral to how we play.
Yeah, he is.
I was very surprised as well. For Gary Neville was giving quite a lot of praise to Harry Maguire, just saying that we'd really miss him. I guess that might be a backhanded compliment.
There's a lot of stuff. I was in something going around recently around his aerial duels one. He is like superb in the air, and I think he's one of the highest proportion of aerial duels.
Yeah.
In a dying trade maybe. Will we see in 10 years, 15 years time? Will we see heading in football?
That's true, will we? Yeah, there's lots of things into dementia and heading, isn't there, at the moment going on? So yeah, interesting.
Yeah, okay, all right. So not the worst, not the best for either side, really. Leicester obviously hadn't. Both you were very good away from home. Leicester were not drawing, so go. All right.
So just got a quick all of 10 Moyes' Manager of the Month awards were at Everton. That's in the comment section, so thank you for that. And should Tuanzebe get a run in the side now? It's a tough one to say because he's not a right back. I don't think he's a right back. I think he's a centre back. So I would say no because I'd rather have Bailly or Lindelof next to Maguire. And I like Tuanzebe. I think he's not progressed as well as people suggested he would because he was raved as like this monster in the under-18s and he was apparently very, very good. I'd like to see him given more opportunities, but not as a starting player. I think coming on. Sort of like he did cover injuries, he can cover all the back 4 positions. He's athletic.
There'll often be a place for someone in the side line until they decide they want to move on. They obviously don't want to be that gap filler. I don't want to make a career out of that, but he'll be happy for a little bit to fill that role.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's go to the Gary Cahill derby. Villa Palace 3-0 Villa, and I mean. Tyrone Mings is a horrible piece of work. I don't like him at all. No. So he's obviously got the 2 head stamps in his career, which is where the base of my claim come from. Yeah. But he gets sent off in this match, and I think Villa fans will probably argue that are either yellow cards. So the first one is where he comes striding in to I don't know, somewhat maybe win the ball or kind of get the ball off the Zaha. He jumps in, and you can just, I don't know, whether I can't really verbalise, but you can just tell he's trying to leave something on Zaha. His left foot comes down quicker than anything else, and then the bit that's telling for me is his reaction to Zaha calling him out and trying to wrestle him. Mings is like, oh me, oh, well, no, oh, what's he doing? Why is he trying to attack me? Like I've got kids, I've seen that action before. If he had done nothing to Zaha and Zaha suddenly lashed at him, Mings is a hot-headed guy, who's got a bad temper, would be like, what you do? And literally would just be probably like go for it. Whereas he knew he'd done something wrong here, and was just trying to play the innocent guy.
Yeah.
And then secondly, it's it's just moronic. Like the second yellow is like if you've forgotten you're on a yellow there, he just floors him. People say Zaha made a meal of it. He blocked him off. He's been
I think that's one of those where Tyrone Mings should know that players make a meal of those, and he's pulled him back. So if the player goes down, it's a yellow card. And I don't really have an opinion on Tyrone Mings. I think he's just a bit of a idiot. Like I don't know if he's a malicious person.
I will voice my opinion. I think he's a thumb. I don't think he's a elite player. I mean, Aston Villa have done really well. I mean, they're all sat now kind of 8 clean sheets this season, something like that. For a side who was back in relegation last year. Emi Martinez obviously takes some credit for that. He's been one of the changes in the piece. But this is a game where the red card really didn't change the game.
Well, this is a game this was like what my opinion on this was that whoever scored first, I think, would have won. And Martinez made a massive save inside a minute and a half against Zaha. And then Aston Villa go and score. And you're right, the sending off didn't change the game. And we've got a comment in the chat, like, Palace actually seemed to get worse when Villa went down to 10 men. Is that showing Hodgson as the limitations of Hodgson as a manager?
Yeah, I think he's much more used to that conservative play, and when they have to do the ball playing and actually have to dominate, it's not there. I mean, Crystal Palace just royally peeved me off. Like, they had a cracking performance against Spurs, smashed 7 whatever by Liverpool, a pathetic performance against 10 men here. I can't remember the other game. It's just like, come on, Palace, it's just awful. But Villa, on the other hand, Jack Grealish is just turning into an elite play. So he's turning into like peak blooming Eden Hazard. That guy has got to be playing for England next year.
The pass he put through, a reverse no-look pass to Ollie Watkins, who then hit the post. He was so unlucky in front of goal, Ollie Watkins.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And I mean, if you think it was 3-0 Villa, Guaita had a very good game for Crystal Palace, and Watkins hit the bar and the post, I think, with a header and then a left-footed chance, and it was...
he had another good chance with parried and stuff. It was... And Grealish's pass for what ended up in El Ghazi's goal was another just round the side of a defender. So it was just the measure and the weight of pass is just. I mean, just the lower those socks get, the better he becomes. You got
to remind me to talk about lower socks in the Sheffield United game, so as well.
McBurney.
Yeah, but I mean, Dean's. We'll obviously look at we need to do the halfway point of predictions coming up soon as well to see how we're doing.
Okay.
But I know that in my friends' predictions, we do weekly predictions for football, but at the beginning of the season you have to submit a league position table. Yeah, I had Villa 20th in that. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
This was obviously done well before the transfer window, and everything like that.
Oh, of course, Dave. Of course, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure in ours I had them as my surprise package.
Haven't we all, Dave?
Yeah, haven't we all?
Haven't we all?
I think you had Dean Smith as manager sacked first, though.
Probably, yeah, because I don't know. I just feel, I mean, how Chris Wilder still got his job is beyond me, but obviously not the first manager to be sacked, which is a bit unfortunate for me. But yeah, I mean, Villa still. I mean, they've got games in hand and they're up near the top of the table. It's been fantastic so far. So well done, Villa. They were flying without Mings.
How long were you waiting to get that in?
I couldn't find a good time to say it, so I felt I had to say it just at the end there.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Let's leave that. Let's go to the anti-Niemi derby. I'm a big fan of this keeper.
Yeah, good keeper.
Good keeper. Fulham v Southampton, 0-0. We don't normally talk a lot about 0-0s. I would say Fulham have sorted their defence out, so they're not looking as much of a dead cert for relegation as we previously thought. They kind of slid the scale back to defend more and have done better. 2-0 in. I think when they like ages without 0-0s. Now they've gone,
Yeah.
London Buses style, 2 back to back. 2 players I want to shout out in this match. So James Ward-Prowse can really take a free kick,
Yep.
and the nipple saved it. Lovely reach by the nipple, Areola. And also, he got a bit of stick last time he was at Fulham because obviously he went out on loan last year, but also a great name. Andre Frank Zambo Anguissa is a classy little player. He's doing well for Fulham.
Unless it's coming to his left foot from a layback from Lookman.
Don't worry about that bit. Yeah, he knew he'd messed that up.
What I love is because he'd swinged a miss with his left foot, it hits his right foot. Lookman pounces to go and get the ball when it's bouncing free. It's cleared away for Southampton, and then Lookman remembers that he's just done that really bad swing and a miss, and he's like, "Oh, for..." Like his natural instinct reacted to go and get the ball, and then Lookman was like, "Oh," in like the anger on his face as soon as the ball's cleared for a throw in. It was just like, "You messed that up."
Yeah, and the first angle I saw, I thought he'd been blocked. When you turn around, you're like, no. He's blocked that himself. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Fulham making steady progress. Nothing pulling up any trees. Southampton kind of levelling out a little bit. I think it's maybe some tired legs and.
Let's be honest. Southampton should have won that. 2 disallowed goals for offside. They hit the bar. They tested
even
the keeper
the free kick.
more
The following to the free kick, Shay Adams kind of got his run wrong.
Well, no, he didn't, did he? If you watch it back, the save from Nipple put the save onto the bar put such a weird spin on the ball that it bounces over Shay Adams' foot.
Oh, okay.
Because
So
because Ward-Prowse hits it and Nipple just sort of touches it straight onto the bar and takes all the spin off it. So when it comes back off the bar, it like does this weird sort of stop and then flick, and it just goes over Shay Adams' foot. It's really bizarre. Because I guarantee you, Shay Adams assumed he had scored that, and was just like, "This is an easy tap in. I've judged this bounce perfectly," and he just went he does the action to side foot it, and it just takes such a weird bounce over his foot.
Oh, I'll have a look at that.
Yeah, it's really bizarre.
But yeah, I mean, that's all I've got to say on Fulham Southampton. Not much to go there. So we'll move on to probably the most exciting result of the day in the Steve Sidwell derby, 3-1 Arsenal v Chelsea.
The title game.
The title game, well, in terms of this titular, Frank Lampard. I would like to anyone listening, anyone watching, can you please find me a piece of footballing news or write-up where someone is criticising Frank Lampard
At Chelsea? Is that including Derby or?
No, or you can go for just go for Chelsea. Actually, I'm not quite sure of his tenure at Derby, but in Chelsea, can you find anything critical of Frank Lampard's out of his depth, or he's tactically inept, that kind of stuff, which I think a lot of people are thinking, but is not getting written about, because I feel like he's getting a bit of a free ride in terms of
I'd agree.
In critique. Yeah,
I'd agree. I think he gets it easy in the press, so especially
maybe
someone like Arteta in Arsenal and. 50.
Maybe he's playing the long con. Maybe he was like, this is going to keep Arteta in charge and keep them struggling. I mean, in terms of the 3 goals that Arsenal scored, it's not exactly case closed. We've solved this striking issue. You got a penalty.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
reshaped it pathetically badly.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch this game because it was on at like 4 a.m. in Singapore and it's not Man United. So I watched the highlights, but before watching the highlights, I've got a very good friend in London who supports Arsenal, and there were some text exchanges in our group, and it was like Lacazette has scored from the penalty spot, Xhaka has scored a superb free kick, and Saka has scored. And someone asked, is there anything from open play because I can't watch the game? And he wrote back, yeah, Saka's goal. It's annoying that is classed as open play.
It's annoying.
It's not a goal. It's not, the XG on that would be minimal.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, because still no one's getting on the end of any of these crosses in the Arsenal side, but it didn't matter because they're crossing into the net now. That's how Arteta's like, okay, we can't head the ball in, so why don't we just try crossing it into the goal? You'll see more about it over the coming weeks.
Genius. Tactical genius.
I do feel that Arsenal used up all of their luck. So obviously the penalty, the free kick, the cross, the penalty save. It's a lot of luck in one game.
It is. I mean, don't get me wrong. The penalty was a penalty. It was a stupid
Oh, yeah,
tackle from
absolutely,
Reece
yeah,
James,
yeah.
and the free
And
kick was a
it's a
free
lovely
kick.
free
But
kick, but
yeah,
yeah, and the cross was a cross. Um, but it came at times it just took the stuffing out of Chelsea. But Chelsea didn't really get going till like the 80th minute.
yeah.
What annoys me, right? So Pablo Mari's had a tough time. I think even in his first few matches, who was he up against? And he got his hamstring done. Was it against Man City
Oh
or
yeah, it was.
something? And
Yeah,
he tried running and got his hamstring done, and he gets booked in the 20th minute here. So I'd like to know your theories, your thoughts on this, Dave. So he's booked, centre back's booked in the 20th minute.
yeah.
Do you think players should then pinpoint that player and try and get them sent off, or is that unprofessional and they shouldn't do that?
No, you should. You should do not in like an aggressive manner. I would say if you're like
No,
you
I'm
want
talking
to,
about
I would
like should the
suggest.
nippy winger go
Yeah,
at him and try and get tackled by him, or
yeah.
the centre forward put himself on him, leave him to make get him to make challenges on you. That's how I view it. The player Aaron Lennon was quite good at it for Spurs. You see, there's probably been a few fullbacks being sent off against Spurs because Aaron Lennon would go at them. I think.
I agree with that. Yeah, you get your nippy
Yeah.
winger to run at the defender who's been booked. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you start overloading your right hand side. If it's left back, you go, okay, let's have a few minutes, 5 minutes of pulling this left back all over the place. And I don't think it's done enough. Like it annoys me as soon as the players like Spurs, it was like Moussa Dembele was we could run at any centre midfielder who's on a yellow, and they or you run at that player because you know he won't be able to tackle you as well.
Yeah.
He won't be able to pull you back that time. You can get past him. I just feel like there's sometimes a lack of awareness from or that nastiness from players to do that.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So that was my. I don't think Arsenal. I think Chelsea exploited Arsenal enough. They only started playing properly in the last 10 minutes. Lovely finish by Tammy Abraham though.
Little chest in. Yeah, it was good, and then it was disallowed and then allowed.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I'm not gonna. No, I'm gonna go on about this every week. Timo Werner is not elite. I've used elite a lot in this podcast, and Kai Havertz is really struggling overall. It's just
Yeah, Kai Havertz is struggling, and I still think next year Timo Werner's going to be ridiculous. I think he's going to be brilliant next year.
even if Frank's still there.
Yeah, I think even if they change manager, yeah, I think whoever they bring in, I think with a year adapting to the Premier League, you even posted an article on our Twitter to say that he's admitted the physicality of the Premier League isn't what he was expecting. He thought it would just be the same as German football, and I think once he's had a year, I think he'll be all right next year. I might make a fun bet on it next year.
You see him getting a kind of a golden boot, or being thereabouts for a golden boot then?
Yeah, if he has a very good season, yeah, I could potentially see it. But it's not. But the thing is, it's not about.
Whoa! Player has great season is up for award.
But it's more about the Chelsea have to play really well for him to get a golden boot. Chelsea have to be playing really well week in week out, and I don't think they can do that under Frank Lampard. So I still think Werner could be a very good striker next year, even if Lampard's still there, but not win the golden boot. Like Aguero, a fully fit Aguero for the whole season playing under Pep in that Man City team, every year you would say he's on for a golden boot. He'll be in with a shout of it. Mo Salah under Klopp playing for that Liverpool team, you would say every year in with a shout of golden boot. Harry Kane playing with Son, you would say.
And just playing and being fit is Harry Kane's one.
And that's I think the difference is that if you put Werner in Liverpool, I think he'd get loads of goals. Like he'll be up there for golden boot. So I think he's a good player. Yeah.
Well done, Arsenal. It's probably a result that was much needed. Taking a little bit of heat off Chelsea. Failing to deceive. I think flattering to deceive. It's been a bit of a. I don't know. We called them out as kind of title challenges. They run a nice run of form, but I don't know. It's a bit hit or miss really for me.
Just very quickly then, what are your thoughts on Lampard? Like, will he stay in the job into next season? Is he going to go in the summer? Is he worth giving a chance? Have you seen enough that Chelsea should stick with him? Is that a stupid question? Like, should they just stick with him?
I think I like sides sticking with managers. Really, I don't really want to manage to be sacked willy nilly. I think he's got a better job than he's capable of. I don't think he's at the standard. He's shown more managerial inexperience and kind of failings in the way he sets up his side, especially in his first season, when he has done kind of positive things. I thought, oh God, that's really good management. That is. really like that. Even his patheticness when he was on the touchline with Jurgen Klopp and called Klopp out for celebrating something when he'd done exactly the same with
Yeah.
Derby. It's just like I can you put it down to being a winner, but it's an immaturity, and some people just like that. I think it's just pathetic.
What about like if I counteracted not that argument, not the point about the argument with Klopp, but the point about how he set up his team in the first season? You can argue he set that team up and then went, well, actually, what we need is a very experienced centre back and a new goalkeeper. So he did see the problems and go out and try to fix them to fit to his tactical system rather than.
Yeah, no, he has done. I mean, he's been very lucky to be at Chelsea to be able to get the money to do that.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And getting 200 million to do that. I'm not sure I've seen anything tactically from him. But I thought, you know what, I can see you being Chelsea manager for years, or you'd get another really big job. It'd be interesting to see what kind of job he gets post Chelsea. I'd be really intrigued by that.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to be at Chelsea forever. It doesn't happen anymore. You don't have a. So I'll be intrigued to see what legacy he leaves behind him with Chelsea.
Very true. Yeah, that'd be very interesting. Yeah, very interesting.
All right, we'll move on to the Andy Cole derby. City v Newcastle, 2-0 City, and we're seeing the City goal, the City trademark goal, come back, aren't we? The first goal here was.
It annoys me, Josh, that goal.
Go on.
Because they're going to try it, so it should be really easy to stop. It should be easy to stop, that goal. It should be easy to stop the ball moving from left to right to left, diagonal into Sterling, get to the byline, cut it back. Should be relatively easy to stop because it's what they've been doing for a year and a half. So why can't a team like Newcastle got five centre-backs on the bloody pitch? Why can't Newcastle stop it?
I mean, Newcastle aren't a great side, but I think it's just that they provide a lot of options. So like the cutback is there, but also the shot on goal is there. The lay across the is there. Yeah. I think they just panic sets in for me, and I don't know. Newcastle just never really got out of blocks here, did they?
No, but Steve Bruce sets them so they don't get a chance to get out the blocks, and that's the problem. There's no even.
I'm not sure if Steve Bruce wants them out the blocks. He's like I'm safe in the blocks here.
Yeah. Exactly, and I think I saw a very good. I'm friends with a couple of Newcastle fans on Facebook, and there was a very interesting, like Kevin Keegan versus Steve Bruce quote of what I said, and Kevin Keegan's was like, I want to be the manager here to bring this club to be within or as close as possible to the elite, and obviously Kevin Keegan went out and attacked and was backed very well by Freddie Shepherd. Was he the chairman before? It might have been. Might have even been the guy before Freddie Shepherd, who I just can't remember. And then Steve Bruce quote is, for a team, for Man City to beat us when we're a team who's expected to struggle in the bottom half of the table. I was like, oh my god, that's yeah.
Yeah, I think you had a poll now of all 20 Premier League clubs, and the winner of a poll gets the manager sacked. Would you reckon Newcastle will be voting highest?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Maybe. Yeah. Well. Yes, definitely. I can't honestly think there was another team that would even have a very outright decision to say.
I've impressed myself with that question. Actually.
Yeah, I don't think there's a very definitive team. I'm just looking through the list who would say definitely sack our manager.
There'd be some angry West Brom fans maybe, but
no. But again, I don't think they would say let's sack Big Sam straight away. Now that he's come in,
I think maybe another one might be Crystal Palace. I think Hodgson's a bit of a cuts a bit of a figure. Other than that, I think a lot of sides are happy with their managers. Yeah,
Josh, I'm going to go with I'm going to answer your question with a resounding yes. Newcastle would come top of that poll. For sack the manager, yes.
Imagine if they did that. Imagine if it was like X Factor and the public vote has decided this week. Steve Bruce is leaving with Newcastle. Let's have a look back at your best moments. Okay, there wasn't it.
Can you get Davina McCall to do it with the pause as well? And it'll be like, right, and the manager losing their job
James
is.
Clark, this is Davina.
Amazing. So a few comments we've got coming through. Sorry, I missed these. Just on Timo Werner, he's not up to Premier League standard. He'll be loaned back to the Bundesliga soon. I think they'll give him time rather than a loan. So Osiris agrees with me. And Lampard has the personality of a spoon. There's just a nice comment in there. And he just needs to have Uri Geller as his assistant manager.
Spoons are good at their job. They're experienced though.
That's true. Very true. Very true. But yeah. Anyway, back to the football. I mean, Oh, what? It's Man City. Newcastle. I think are annoying everyone. We're just
Yeah, let's have a look at that. Just about that second goal. That Almiron just gets caught in the left back position, and he just his face annoys me. Does Almiron? He just his smarmy little
it's
face,
really round.
really tiny round head,
Yeah.
and and but then like the cross in, and then the defender. There needs to be some communication there because the defender could just let that just go out. But instead, he goes, "Hey, Ferran Torres, have this 6 yards out." Like, thank you.
I mean,
um,
but that sums it up, doesn't it? When you started that sentence with Miguel Almiron in the left back position, that's Newcastle in a nutshell. So
it is,
yeah,
yeah. Shout out to what was it, Raheem Sterling. I mean, I imagine it's going to be Kevin De Bruyne who looks at this side, and probably Pep go, "How can you not finish? Why?" Like. Raheem Sterling gets his feet tangled every single week and just can't put a ball into a net. It's really frustrating, and that is why when Pep leaves Man City, he is going to be nowhere near this level anymore. He won't be that level.
okay.
Yeah.
What happens if they
I mean,
bring
that's not going to be for a
Arteta
while
in
because
though?
obviously signed a new contract.
Sorry.
But he won't be after when Pep goes in a few years. Obviously, Sterling would have aged a bit, and Sterling played a lot of football at a young age.
Yeah.
He won't be anywhere near this level. He's in his peak now. I'd say is Sterling.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah. Cool.
But Man City climbing up that league table. Now in fifth position. Spurs are dropping down. Just looking down, blimey, Spurs were second a blink an eye ago.
Yeah,
But,
a win takes you third. So
yeah, that's a big ask against Wolves. All right, let's move on to the final match of the day, the John Lundstram derby. Sheffield United Everton, 1-0 Everton, and
Ollie McBurney is the prime example of a player that shouldn't wear his socks short because he has no skill. He's terrible. He's awful. He's rubbish.
I think he injured himself the other week whilst trying to be the big man, roughing up Southampton's defenders, and managed to injure himself by diving.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does not earn the right to wear his socks low.
No.
He does not.
He does not.
He needs to be completely regiment. He needs to be shirt. He's more of a shirt tucked in man, if you ask me.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, potentially. And he's also got Jack Grealish has got the calf muscles to go with wearing the socks down.
Oh, he's a skinny.
McBurney's just got skinny legs. Yeah. So I had to get that off my chest very early on in this review.
That's a valid, insightful comment. I thank you that day.
Yeah, good.
So we've spoken about Everton's second string, and the second string has actually come to the forefront in recent weeks. So the last two Premier League games, 1-0 wins.
Yeah.
Gylfi Sigurdsson winners.
Yeah, he's sort of taking up the James Rodriguez mantle when they seem to be dovetailing quite well now.
What a fall from grace James has had, really. That first 3 games, is it?
Yeah, winter months, isn't it, Josh? So the Icelandic man is used to the cold temperatures.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Iceman knows it.
When spring comes around, Rodriguez will be back up on the rise, and Sigurdsson will come back down. So,
but do you know what the goal reminded me? What other goal this goal reminded me of in this game?
No.
It was the Aguero goal.
Oh yes, it was. Yeah, the Decore pass.
Kind of like that kind of push round the corner, kind of that pass around the corner reminded me. Obviously not the finish or the circumstances when Man City won the title from the hands of Manchester United.
Such an idiot.
But yeah, just that little bit reminded me of it, and I thought probably worth mentioning.
Well, because I was going to mention the Decore assist and how much I liked it, and then you mentioned that, so I don't like it anymore.
Do you ever do that when you see goals going? Do you ever think, "Oh, that was similar to that goal"?
Yeah,
how do you think?
I do that. Yeah, I have thought about that a few times, and normally it is. I do think about goals that I don't like because of a certain situation. There was one a couple of weeks ago that Bruno Fernandes scored that was very similar to a Robbie Fowler one for Liverpool, and I was like, why is that in my head? Why do I remember that Robbie Fowler goal? But yeah, just frustrates me a bit. But yeah, Everton doing all right, aren't they? Back up their second.
Back up their second, yeah.
Top 2 Merseyside teams. So
yeah, it's been ebbed and flowed a bit for Everton. It had they've got a good run of form again. Calvert-Lewin's goals have quietened down a little bit, haven't they? But he couldn't keep that regularity up.
Yeah,
but,
that's the thing. I think it was a bit abnormal for any striker to have that sort of regularity of scoring goals. But I also think whilst he's not scoring, he's getting involved in the play quite a lot in terms of the build-up and things like that, and still doing his job of winning headers, annoying defenders, and he's doing well. Yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah. I bet Everton fans were pretty tense yesterday, though. 80th minute against Sheffield United. Sheffield United are now on course for 5 points this season. If you extrapolate this points tally, worst start
Ever in the Premier League.
ever.
Yeah.
I think in all league football, only two sides have made an equally bad start by Boxing Day, and they were both in League Two in like the 70s.
Yeah.
Is there a way out?
No. I mean, they don't. You would argue normally that you would spend money on something for it happening, but I think Sheffield United are. I think Sheffield United would rather go down, spend the money when they're down to get maybe some cheaper players in the Championship.
If I was the owner of Sheffield United, I'd be looking at it going,
But
I'm not even sacking Wilder. I'm just going, okay. If an opportunity presents itself, which to sign a player who I'd happily take into the Championship with me, and I'm not on ludicrous wages or a ludicrous fee, and they could do a job in the Championship, I'd be preparing for Championship football now.
yeah, I mean, the interesting thing with Sheffield United is they're part owned by a Saudi prince or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so then
was it like 0.1% or something?
Sorry.
It's going like 0.1% or something.
Yeah, I think it's quite a chunky. I think it's quite a chunky, like 20%, 30% or something. And so they might be. It might be one of those things of sack the manager and we'll inject money into the club. I can't see.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I think while they'll stick with Wilder and say you're going to get a chance to take us back up.
To be honest, it's definitely not game over. I mean, it's not like a massive point scores from Brighton, Fulham, Burnley and stuff. But 3 wins on the bounce is a lot to ask of a side who's not won in the last 15.
Yeah,
so to have 3 wins on the bounce to get 9 points to get up with Fulham, you need to win them in a short period of time to make that gap, that gap up. So we're agreed then that that's going to leave them relegated then, yeah?
I think so, yeah. I think they're down and done. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll move on to just quickly cover today's games then. So you'll notice I'm back in a Spurs shirt because I realised that my shirt choice actually mattered nothing this season.
Okay.
So I'm back wearing it. So it won't affect today's game. So Spurs obviously will do what they will do. But we'll cover the Leeds-Burnley game first. What are we going for there? Midday kickoff in England. Leeds-Burnley.
1-0 Burnley. Absolute.
1-0 Burnley?
Absolute. Again, Sergio Ramos their way to a 1-0 win.
To honest you, crosses, set pieces, it's going to be a horrible day for Leeds. Yeah. I imagine it'll be a horrible day but I don't know, this could be an exciting match, I feel. Burnley will be like, oh my goodness, what's going on? But then they'll be like, I'll tell you what's going on, Ashley Barnes, Chris Wood, smack!
Yeah, potentially, you're right. It could be
White McNeil just whipping in the bad boy crosses.
5-4, a 5-4, 4-3 game.
You heard it here first. It's going to be goals galore. We don't know which way it's going to go. We don't think it might go.
So you're going.
Okay.
Would you say you're 90% sure both teams to score?
Oh yeah.
You reckon it's definitely both teams to score in this game?
Yeah, both teams to score. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We'll go to West Ham Brighton. So Brighton obviously don't score. West Ham have been okay. Sebastian Haller's run a little bit of form. What are we thinking here?
I'm going a pretty comfortable West Ham win. Maybe 1-0, 2-0, but it will be comfortable. I don't think Brighton will really threaten them. So,
okay, nice. Yeah, I think Brighton are far too toothless to be winning away at West Ham. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Big Sam. Big Sam's in the house. His Christmas dinner was just gravy. Actually, just don't know if you know that. He eliminates all other items of his Christmas dinner, just has gravy. So he's full up. He's got a belly full of gravy. Liverpool versus West Brom.
4-0 Liverpool.
Is he going to be loving it?
It's not going to help him.
4-0.
Yeah, Liverpool are going to smash them. Absolutely annihilate them. Like, I think Klopp has rotated his front three quite well in the Christmas period and his midfield, and I think
we've seen Firmino get goals, Firmino get goals, Salah get goals. Mane's been a little bit goal shy, but obviously scored against Palace. But yeah,
and I think Klopp is going to. I think if they hadn't have sacked Bilic, Klopp would have carried on rotating for this game. But I think Klopp will come in and be like, I know they're going to be up for this because of Big Sam. We're picking our strongest team. We're going for this.
Yeah, because the last manager to win at Anfield, Big Samuel, in charge of Crystal Palace.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So I think. I
can't see him getting a result, but I think he'll make it. He'll try and make it. He's had a little bit of time on a training ground. I think he'll try and make it a bit hard for him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think he'll try. I don't think he will. I think he'll try and make it hard for him.
He can try and make it hard for Liverpool. You want, but they're top notch.
No.
And then we have the match we mentioned earlier. I think Raul Jimenez is going to be watching this from a executive box in the stadium, which would be good to see. But Wolves v Tottenham, what are you thinking?
Score draw.
Score draw.
Yeah, 1-1, 2-2, something like that. Maybe a Desmond. Yeah, maybe a Desmond.
Okay. Yeah, I struggle to see Spurs getting much from this. We won there last year, last gasp header from Jan Vertonghen. I don't think we fared too poorly there. Obviously, Matt Doherty. I would imagine Matt Doherty started right back after Serge Aurier's
Yeah.
smash through the back of Fofana, and also back at his former club.
Yeah.
Will yeah, that should be an interesting match. I think it'll be a good match to watch.
Yeah. I've got a question.
I have a strong memory of watching Wolves over Christmas. Actually, Wolves Newcastle. Probably about 10, 15 years ago. I've got vivid memories of it being quite a good match.
Okay.
So,
yeah, nice. I've got a question for you about Spurs, and it's Gareth Bale. What's the situation with Bale? Why is he not really playing? Is it not a Mourinho signing? Was it Levy and?
Oh, it's definitely Levy wanting that player, and he's an expensive morale boost. That's what he was. Him and Joe Hart boosting morale all over the shop. I mean, he scored against Stoke in midweek.
Yeah.
He's already got us 3 points in the win at Brighton. But yeah, he's not at the level. He hasn't got return of speed, so he knows that he can't go past players. There isn't really the room for three of those players in the front three in the way we're playing. Well, not against the better sides, but maybe we did it against West Brom. The problem is, I think he needs that run of games to get back to a better shape, and he'll need that just eroding away that kind of rust off that body. And I just don't think he's going to get it with us. I don't think he's going to play consistently enough to. I don't think the player is fully gone. I think there's a better player in there. What we're seeing, I just don't think we'll get a chance to see it because I don't think Mourinho will trust him, and unless Son gets injured, I still think probably Lucas Moura will probably get in the side.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah. So, okay, and then quick question in the chat was sort of a question. Will Sheffield United beat Derby's lowest points total, which was
I've got a feeling they're going to
11.
12. I think they'll better it.
Yeah, you think
they'll more points?
Yeah,
I think they will.
So you're going 12 or more.
12 or more. And the problem is because obviously the Derby side had that one season where bad. You just have that hope here with Sheffield United that they've had a better season. And then this season, you think there's something in there. There's some better side in there. I think getting that first win is going to be huge for them.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Well, that's the end of the reviews and the previews. Let's move on to.
I got a Wikifile for you. Hey. So yeah, Josh has sent me a Wikifile this year. So let me make it full screen so that I can't see the chat on the YouTubes. Oh my word. Right. 1991. This player starts his senior career. To 1994 at Deportivo Quito, Deportivo Quito. 86 appearances, 6 goals. He then moved in 1995, a big move, in 95 to 1997, Barcelona SC. 14 appearances, 0 goals, which I think is the Barcelona in Ecuador.
Yes, and Quito is the capital of Ecuador. So I'm
going to go Ecuador. Yeah. 96, he went on loan to Acos, 32 appearances, 3 goals. 1997, moved to LDU Quito.
Oh, rivals.
On loan, 38 appearances, 4 goals. And they were impressed with that. They signed him on a full contract in 1998 to 2001. 3 years, LDU Quito, 91 appearances, 16 goals. But he went on loan to Brazil and played for Cruzeiro on loan, 4 appearances, no goals. He then went on loan to Barcelona in 2001, Barcelona SC again, 8 appearances, 0 goals. 2001 to 2002, he played for Hibs in Scotland, which is a very bizarre move from South America.
Who doesn't love the South America to Scotland?
Yeah,
Fine.
South America to Scotland. So he played for Hibs for a year, 2001 to 2002, 32 appearances, 2 goals. He then moved to Aston Villa, so moved down south into England, 2002 to 2006, 89 appearances, 1 goal. 2006, he moved to Reading and was there for 2 years. 2008, 15 appearances, 1 goal. In 2009, he moved to Birmingham City and made 1 appearance, not scoring, and then nearly bookended it with back to LDU Quito. 2009 to 2012, played a lot of. They were very impressed that he had made appearances. He had beaten the Carnival.
Many league appearances at that late stage in his career, yeah.
Yeah, so 3 years at LDU Quito to finalise his career. 117 appearances, 14 goals, giving him a total of 527 appearances, 47 goals. Now, I don't know who
So
this
to
is.
cut the noise out from that, Dave will be looking at an Ecuadorian who played for Aston Villa, as well as mainly Aston Villa, but also Reading, Birmingham, and Hibernian. If you're,
So I remember a Ecuadorian that played for Birmingham City, but he was a striker and definitely would have scored more goals than that in his time.
Yes, obviously this is your time. You were in Aston at this point, weren't you, Dave?
I was in Birmingham, yeah. Didn't live in Aston, but Aston Villa were my team of choice to go and watch more regularly than anyone else. So yeah, sort of should probably know this. Position-wise, I mean, I've got to go some sort of defensive midfielder, defender.
Yes, I can tell you he was a right back.
A right back, okay. A right back. Right back at Aston Villa when I was there at uni, watching him fly up and down the right wing 89 times. Well, I wouldn't have been there for all of it.
Yeah. Imagine he'd been a similar time.
He had long hair, I think.
Did he?
What's his name? He's got what I would describe as like a sort of Greek mythology first name.
Oh.
Like
Homer?
No, like...
oh, yeah.
Elezeus or something.
Oh.
Oh, my God. What's his name? Ulysses de la Cruz.
Ulysses de la Cruz.
Yes! Come on.
Well done, Dave. I didn't... You seemed like you were on the road to nowhere at that point.
God. I just had to think about it for a while. I think I used to sign him quite a lot on like Football Manager and stuff.
He had good physical stats, if I remember.
Yeah, I think he had cracking physicals, and I think he was always a player that always got released because he didn't have the technicals for the Premier League. So there's like a Championship or League One, you could probably pick him up once he got released, maybe. But yeah, Ulysses de la Cruz. Wow. Anything personal?
He's done some charitable work, so well done there. He also had a bit of a political career in Ecuador alongside Augustine Delgado and Ivan Hurtado. So it's just footballers going into politics.
Nice.
It seems.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm intrigued by the age he played until, because he born in 74, so he played up until 38.
Yeah.
He was 35 to 38. He did his 117 appearances for Liga Deportiva Universitaria.
He obviously came back a hardened man from Scotland and Birmingham. Yeah. So, massive credit to Ross, who got it in the chat before me. Obviously, I maximised the Wikifile so that I can't see the chat. But yeah, Ross had it there when I returned to normal size. So, minimise the Wikifile.
Sole member of Ulysses de la Cruz fan club. Well done, Ross.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff. But, wow, Ulysses de la Cruz, yeah. Good name. Good name. Cracking name. De la Cruz, yeah. Cracking name.
All right. Or anything else, Dave, you would like to mention on this here podcast?
No, not from me. Just I'm looking forward to Football Talk in 2021, unless we eventually have this rebrand that we're always talking about.
We'll still chat, Dave. We'll still be here for each other.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, that brings an end to this week's podcast. So thank you for listening. And if you've been with us live on YouTube, thank you for your questions and your correct answers. It's always lovely to see. If you want to get hold of us for next week's show, you can find us on Twitter @Football Talk. But remember,
there's no A in football.
No A in football. So see you next week. Enjoy the Christmas period and goodbye.
Happy New Year.